Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Spotlight video from the Ecom Cooperative. I'm Liz Downing, Partnership Director at the Ecom Cooperative, and I'm so pleased to welcome my guest, Nadine Schöpper, today. She is co-founder of BidX. Say hi, Nadine.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here too. And co-hosting today is Jason Hanan, co-founder of AZ Seller Kit and also a co-founder of the Ecom Cooperative itself. So I'm going to hand it off to these two to have a little discussion, and then I'll pop back at the end with some information and action items for you. Y'all take it away.
Awesome.
Thank you, Liz.
Hey, Nadine. The last time we hung out together was in Barcelona at over dinner and with a bunch of people, and I had no idea who you were. I think I thought you were a seller, kind of like a lot of the other people in the room. And then I found out that you were a founder of BidX, which was super cool. Tell us what BidX is.
So with BidX, we help Amazon sellers to grow and scale their business by optimizing their ads on and off Amazon. So it's basically Amazon PPC and Amazon DSP that we do. And that's for like sellers, for agencies, for everyone who is doing ads on Amazon, and also brands who are not on Amazon and just want to use the data of Amazon to use Amazon's DSP.
Got it. And so we have a whole bunch of questions that we're supposed to go over. So we may go some on script, some off script as we go along. One of the fun questions that we have here is, what did you want to be when you grew up? Which is, I don't know what I would answer that one, but what do you got for that?
That's a tough one, because like I wanted to be so much, and it changed like every 2 weeks kind of. But it was like there was a pilot for jets at the military. I don't know how I came up with that one. Probably it was just like flying fast that was fascinating me. It was being a journalist, an astronaut, FBI agent, and physicist. So that would be but it's always like going deep into something and digging like for solutions and for things nobody knew before. So that's kind of what interests me, and that's what I always wanted to do in the beginning.
And then you turn 6, and that is a lot
exactly.
to want to be when you grow up. So how did you land in this e-commerce world that you're in now?
Yeah. So eventually I studied computer science, which is also kind of goes into the direction. So what I really liked about computer science is like fixing bugs and finding solutions for problems that weren't solved yet. And that's also what I like mostly about computer science, which like every other programmer hates, like searching for bugs actually, but I liked it. So I studied computer science, and I met my husband, who was selling on Amazon during studies. And he kind of brought me into the industry. So he was selling baby safety products at that time, and I was helping him with like selling on Amazon. But then he had the problem with the ads. That was 2016, 2017. And at that time, there was no tool to optimize and automate the ads. And that was a perfect use case for me. So he asked me if I could optimize it for him and automate it for him and code a solution. So we came up with BidX, and now it's like 45 people, which is awesome. I didn't expect that in the beginning, but there was so much demand that we grew over the time and are still growing.
And how do you grow from 1 coder to 45 coders? What's that like?
Well, it's not 45 coders. It's like 20 coders. So half of our team is developers. But we also need some customer service and that kind of stuff, sales team, marketing team. But in general, like in the beginning, when Max had the problem and we started coding, we asked other sellers if they would be interested in a solution like that as well. And at that time, there was no solution. So there was no Perpetua, Peku, or whatever, and we had to come up with something ourselves. So we asked other sellers if they would be interested, and we got like 500 replies from sellers in a Facebook group who said that they definitely need this because it was so much work with Excel and whatever and bulk files. It was just awful, and Max was agonizing. Everybody was agonizing about it. So yeah, and then we made it public for other people to use it, and then we were just growing organically. It was just more customers coming. We had to implement more features from Amazon because Amazon's changing like all the time. There are new ad features, there are new possibilities you can do with the advertising. So we had to implement them as well. And now you can basically everything you can do in the ads console, you can also do it in BidX. So we are constantly changing.
Yeah, as they change, you have to change because everything changes. It feels like every 2 weeks there's a new API update and there's something that Amazon changes. It seems like they almost do it on purpose sometimes. They'll update an API and the new API does the same thing the old API did. They just change it to keep the coders in business. It's kind of how it feels sometimes.
Definitely. So, and like we are also like working very closely with Amazon. So whenever there's a new beta that we can join, like for new features, they are like coming to us and ask us if we want to be involved here. Sometimes even give them feedback on how to program like different things and make it more useful also for the API users in the end.
It is, my partner Lenny is more on the developer side than I am, and he spends a lot of time also in Seattle with their API team. And I think he's maybe less shocked than I am sometimes at how open they are and how much they ask questions, and how it seems like when you talk to him, they're like a company that has like 15 people and they're like, wow, you could really use that. And it's like, what do you, and like they really come to you for feedback, which I think is fascinating at the size that they are, that they really will ask the people like you for feedback when everyone pictures them to be this big monster that's like so far away and almost like up in the sky, but when you go to these conferences they really are asking for feedback and looking to help, which is just fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the end, it's also just people working there, and like Amazon was always like working closely with customers and customer focused, and in the end, we are also kind of customers of their API. So they're really pursuing us to work with them and support them. Yeah,
I mean, they are trying to help, and like I feel like they're not the big bad wolf. Like very often they are trying to help to make things better, and they're using companies like you to help them make things better, which is just I don't think that's the perception out there, is that they're they have sometimes it's very negative, but when you spend time with especially the developer team, they really are looking to help, and I'm sure you're helping them, and the ideas that come from you and your team, I'm sure flow through and help everyone.
Yeah.
What's the division of labor between you and your husband at the company? I'm sure that can be both fun and maybe not fun sometimes.
Yeah, you mean like which departments, who is overlooking which departments, or like how much time is like fun and how much time is business?
No, I was gonna say who's handling which departments. I don't know if I'm ready to do marriage psychologist. I'm on the business side. We're worriing about marriage therapy.
So this is not a counseling? I thought this was a counseling session.
That's at 9 o'clock.
Okay. No, so my departments are more in the background. Like Max is doing marketing and sales, and I'm doing everything else like administration, HR. We have a dedicated CTO, which is our third co-founder actually. But I'm also like involved there a little bit into the development team. And everything you can't see from the outside is basically my responsibility, and everything else is Max.
So you came from life as a coder, and are you still doing coding, or is that like sort of faded into the background now and you're doing more just running a business effectively?
Yeah, I'm more just running the business. So in the beginning, I was coded the first version I coded, and there's still code from me in the tool. But our developers are way better than I am. That's kind of also a learning, I would say, as an entrepreneur, that you can't be the best at everything. And when you have like for specific things, there are people who are way better than you, and you should just go with them, I would say, instead of saying that you can do everything better than everybody else. That's not true. So yeah.
It's the best advice I read in some business book. That if you're the smartest person in the room, it's a major problem. There's got to be people smarter than you in the room. Otherwise, you're probably going nowhere fast. So that's it's cool that you manage, but you also have to know the industry and know coding to even know who the right people are that are smart enough. And I feel like there's very few people that are business people that are also coders. And when you hang out at those conferences, you kind of see that a lot of them are very introverted and are sort of not used to dealing with people. So the fact that you have this skill set of being a coder and being able to manage people is probably what makes BidX successful, because most people are like me, don't understand coding, and you're just, thank God we have Lenny who does, but it's that same feeling. If you don't understand it, you kind of feel like they're the Wizard of Oz and you have no clue what they're doing. So it's super cool that you're able to be a coder and then step out and be a business administrator and run a company. It's I don't think there's too many of those out there,
Yeah, thank you. I feel like, especially in the beginning, when I met a lot of new people in the industry, a lot of them were like, you were the coder? I thought you were marketing and sales. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, I can be shy if I want to.
No, you can't. But you end up. You can't be if you're running a company. At the end of the day, you can't hide in a room and close the door. You gotta, talk to people.
That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing now for brands? And I'm sure you're dealing with tons of different brands. What's one of the biggest challenges that the brands are having now, specifically as it relates to PPC?
Like most of the customers who are coming to us are like, they have different challenges, and it's like very different challenges. Like some of them are just like, my ACOS is too high, I need someone to help me with this. Then we see a lot of brands who have not a good structure with their ads. So then we first go into and have a deep dive into their brand and into their ad structure, and then we first have to clean it up some to make it actually work properly. And when you don't have a good structure, you're just throwing money out of the window, because with that you also can't really see the results. You don't really have the right KPIs to figure out if you're doing the right things. And then we also have some customers who are coming to us and say, I'm doing a lot of stuff already, but what can I do to actually enhance my brand awareness and find new customers that I haven't worked with yet and don't know my brand yet? So it's like people who know what they're doing, but they just want to improve on what they're doing. And then there are people who are coming to us and are just like, I have no clue about ads, just help me with it, do it for me. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to know. I just want to give you the numbers before, and you do the work. So it's like both very common.
Got it. So I think I might be, new to understanding what BidX is a little bit as you have this conversation. I think I had the perception that it was maybe a software only, but it sounds like you're, based on that, it's software plus. Yeah. What is that? I guess explain that a little bit more. If it's software, service, both, use half. What's the breakdown of the company there?
Software plus sounds pretty good, actually. So
we came up with a new slogan.
For those who know what they're doing, it can also just be software as a service, self-service, where we don't do anything. Usually you still have a call with us like once a month where we just discuss questions or whatever. But we have a lot of just self-service clients. And on the other hand, we also have some agency services where we do managed service for our clients who don't want to do anything, who just want to give us the KPIs and we figure out the strategy with them, and then we do everything for them. So it's both, definitely. Our focus is more on self-service, but especially in the US, there are a lot of people who just want to get rid of all these tasks and just want to have somebody who is doing stuff for them.
Yeah, no, that's it's being able to do both is definitely challenging. I feel like there's a different skill set for someone to be a manager and really run the advertising than it is to just sell the software, explain it once, and tell people good luck. There's it's becoming, it's definitely becoming more think I'm seeing it also with a lot of the PPC companies where giving people software alone is just not enough. And they really want they want to know that somebody's there to actually pull the levers and do all of it. And they'll check in with you as opposed to the opposite. So the fact that would you say it's growing in that direction? Is that where you have more people going that direction, or it's kind of all over the place?
It's kind of all over the place. That really depends. I wouldn't say it's growing into one specific direction, but like we have a really good account management team, and they are all PPC experts, and some of them are even were sellers themselves and still are. So it's awesome to have them, and like the sales team is more explaining the tool, and then I have no further clue, have fun. So for the self-service clients, kind of, but then the account management team is taking over, and they're doing a great job.
No, got it. And then for agencies, like how is your tool built for agencies? Is that like a sweet spot for you that you can support agencies as well?
Yeah, definitely. So right in the beginning, when we were like super small, we had a few agency clients, and we were building the software also together with them, kind of like getting their feedback and building the software around them. And so we have like a really good reporting for their clients. So the agency doesn't even have to tell the clients that they're working with BidX. It just looks as if they set out the reporting for the end client. And then we have some pretty cool features for agencies. They don't have to log into different accounts. They can just manage all accounts within one account, kind of. And it's just like for most of the agencies, it's more efficient, and they don't have to have that much stuff to go through all the ad accounts. But yeah, I would say like good analytics and reporting for the clients, like a really big point for them.
How many clients how many clients does one agency have? Like, what's the biggest agency that is able to like implement this across? I feel like it's so, it's so cool to be able to implement it and see your footprint on such a massive amount through one connection. Like you meet one company, and then they have 100, 500 clients. It's and like you said, they probably don't even know that BidX is running their company in the background, which is a super cool feeling, I'm sure, to touch that many accounts.
Definitely. So like we have like agencies who are like really small with like 5 clients, but we also have agencies with 200, 300 clients. And I mean, for us, it's also fun to work with them, because usually agencies really know what they're doing, and for them it's just an enhancement of their expertise to use a tool in the end. So we learn from them, they learn from us. It's like really, it's a good relationship with agencies. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And what's your biggest pain point now as a company, managing a software? Finding
the best people in the space, I would say. So I feel like it's really important in the beginning, or like when you didn't exceed more than 100 employees, that every employee that you have in your team is best in what they do. And we always want to make sure that there's a high quality to make sure that there's high quality for our end clients as well. So I feel like it's pretty hard to find good team members. We have an awesome team now, but we are still growing, so we are searching all the time. So that's definitely one of our biggest challenges.
And I guess, is the majority of your team remote, or do you have a home office, or what does your team look like?
So most of our team members are close to Frankfurt in Germany. And we have kind of a hybrid approach, like those who are close to the office come to the office like twice a week. We also have some fully remote employees within Germany, and then the whole US team is completely remote, which is definitely challenging to have like a good culture there as well.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think you've been doing remote work before COVID, right? I think a lot of your team was remote before. So how have you seen, what are some of the challenges of managing, such a large remote team? Or is it not even that challenging, and maybe we're all ready for it and it's a better work environment?
I feel like it really depends on the person. I wouldn't say that you can say this is better or this is better. It really depends on the team member itself. Like some people are really good in working from home, and then there are people who feel isolated and don't like to not see people and maybe are not like interactive or proactive enough to reach out to other team members. So we really wanted to make sure that the team members see each other often enough and come together, like also the whole team. For example, last year we had kind of an offsite with the whole team in Italy where we all met, and also the US team members came there. And I think that's really important to still like keep the culture and keep people motivated. And it's also very important, in my opinion, that they know each other and also saw each other in person, because that kind of makes it easier to approach the person than offline.
Yeah. Are you meeting as a group on, I mean, maybe it just gets too big, like on Zoom or something once a week or once a month? Like, are you doing anything remotely to kind of keep the culture together?
Yeah. So like we have twice a week, we have a short check-in with the whole team on Google Meet, and then once a month we have.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's 45 people. Oh no, the developers don't get invited. No,
they're also there. Yeah,
they get invited. Okay.
Yeah, it's 45 people, and then but it's not all of them are talking. So it's like every department is giving a short update.
Got it.
And they had their like smaller team meeting before this update meeting. And then once a month we have the monthly all hands meeting where everybody is coming, and that's more an update from Max and my side, where we talk about strategy, about targets, about what's changing in the organization, and less about the day-to-day work.
Gotcha. Once a month is, I feel like we kind of do something similar. I feel like when the month comes up, you just can't believe that a month has gone by. And it's like, oh my God, we just spoke about this 2 days ago. Why are we meeting again? And it's, I feel like time flies a lot when you're going through these, that cadence where you're just, meeting and meeting. And it's quite, how many years are you doing this now?
The official start was in 2018, but we started coding in 2017. So like 6 to 7 years.
6 to 7 years. And I guess the structure has grown, or not necessarily even, has it changed a lot over time, or not so much?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it has changed a lot. I mean, in the beginning, like when we started, Max and I were still students. We had no big like corporate experience. Like I was working for KPMG while I was studying, but I was only like 20 hours. So it wasn't like that I had a full-time job at a corporate where I could learn how things go, or where I had a team where I could learn how to lead. So in the beginning, we were all students. We had not a lot of experience in how to build a business, how to lead a team, how to do anything. So it was really learning by doing. And we certainly did a lot of mistakes also, and had to adapt and change things. We got a lot of feedback also from the team, so we have a huge feedback culture in the company, and we always want them also to give us feedback on whenever we should change or improve somewhere. So it was a lot of trial and error.
No. And who is you mentioned a third founder, who I definitely know Max. So who's the third person, and what did their skill set bring to the table to help?
Yeah, he's the shy developer in the background. He's actually not shy, but he's usually not going to so many events. So that's Dominic, and his background is industrial engineering actually, but he was coding since he was 13 already. So he's our CTO now. He's doing a great job. You can just throw any problem at him and he will fix it. That's awesome. I love it.
I love the coding from 13. I love that. Just, you can't teach that. That's just personality types from when they were born. They're just born to solve problems,
Yeah. I feel like the best coders are those who are really passionate about it, who do that in their free time. Those are like the best coders, and you want to have in your team, definitely. And then
when you talk to them and they say it's fun, that's usually a good sign. I worked for 18 hours and I had so much fun,
Yeah, exactly. And then when they're also interested in advertising in Amazon, that's even that's a huge bonus.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, getting that light bulb to go on sometimes of what the end goal is, and finding those people of, that it's actually showing them the front end of Amazon, showing the coder what it looks like so they actually understand. And if they care to know, then you really found, something special. And it sounds like that's what Dominic actually, that's what he is for the company.
Yeah, definitely. So, he's a coder and he's actually selling on Amazon himself. So he knows everything. So it's a perfect fit, yeah. And he was joining us right in the beginning. It was maybe the first 3 to 4 months, it was only me and Max, and then he joined us. So he's an official co-founder, and he's doing a great job. He's just not at so many events as Max and I am.
No, I mean, I think founder-led, companies that, stay as founder-led companies, but you're still actually using the product I feel like that's just the end user knows the difference of when it was built by a seller and by someone who's, living it every day, instead of by a company that, might have 500 employees and has already, lost touch with what they're even doing. So I'm a big believer in trying to use, software from companies that are actually still living in it and doing it every day, because the updates get, done much quicker because you're doing it. And if the update doesn't work for you, you know that you can't sell anymore and do what you need to do. So that's,
exactly.
I'm sure your customers, appreciate that. So going forwards, where do you see, what's your goal for the next, let's call it, I don't even know if you can say goals past a year when you're talking in the e-commerce Amazon life cycle. Are you trying to continue to, grow your business? Is hyper growth your focus, or is stability kind of keep your core where you are and just kind of, hum along? What's your philosophy as a group?
Also something in between. I feel like we still want to grow, definitely. We want to grow a lot, especially now that we expanded to the US. But I feel it's also challenging that you kind of have to keep the stability. You have to, I feel like a lot of companies go lost when they explode and when they then grow a lot. So we have to find the balance between growing and still have a happy team and have the stability in the tool and everything. So that's what I would like a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean the searching for the perfect balance, and I'm sure it's not easy to find, but it's nice. It's nice to hear that it's not all about growth. And I may be incorrect. I don't know if you have investors or anything like that you have to answer to, or are you kind of bootstrapped from the ground?
We had a small business angel investment in the beginning, but no VC, so it's more or less bootstrapped. But VC also has some advantages. Then it actually pushes you to also grow faster and whatever. But we have our clients, we have our team who are also pushing for being the best in class. So you don't need a VC.
No, I mean, it's great. And then you make your decisions for what's best for the company and best for the customers at the end of the day, and that I'm sure shines through with the software. So
definitely,
cool. I guess any part of why we do this is to showcase companies like yourself, people like you, and this goes out to a lot of people who will hopefully watch this, and I'm always amazed sometimes at the places that people tell me they watch podcasts that I was on with other people. Like, I was running at the gym and I saw a podcast of you from 3 years ago. I was like, where did you find this stuff? But people do find these podcasts and listen to them, as there's not so much Amazon content really out there compared to other industries. So I guess any closing words for any accounts that are on the fence about using an advertising software or switching, advertising softwares to kind of, give that one last end, pitch for why BidX should be their choice?
Well, like, we always focused on the customer, and whatever the customer is like searching for, we can handle it. And also, when a new client comes to us and they have like a specific thing they would like to have, or they have a specific structure, like, we are always trying to make the customer happy and to work with the customer to make most of them like happy and, most important, successful on Amazon. So whenever we can help, we want to help. We can also just have a look into the ads and see what we can do, what the structure looks like right now, if there are things to improve. We do that for free, of course, to just help you. And then in the end, if you think it makes sense to switch tool or to use a tool if you don't use a tool right now, we would be happy to help you there as well.
So let me make sure I heard this right. I feel like I'm going to sound like an infomercial now. So for free, you do what? Which part is free? Like, so if I come to you, you're going to do, that's what everybody, you said free and I jumped up and got excited. Which part is free?
So we do a campaign audit kind of, or not campaign audit, but like an account audit, where we, like, the customer would have to connect their ad account, and then we can dive deep into the structure. Which ad types do they use currently? Do they protect themselves enough, or should they be more aggressive on their competitors? What does the structure look like right now, and how can we help, essentially? So that's what we do. And we first always want to see if it actually makes sense to help the customer, or if it's already perfect, we can't do much besides just optimizing and changing bits. But mostly there's a lot more we can do. So that's why we do these audits, and want to find out first what is the status quo, and then where we can go to from there.
No, amazing. I think you might be able to charge for that audit, but that's just that audit sounds very, very valuable. And the fact that you're doing that for free, shows that you really believe in what you can bring to the table, and that's super cool. And I definitely know a lot of people that are dying for someone to look, because they're just not confident. There's so much, especially with sellers and PPC, there's a lack of confidence that they're doing the best they can with PPC. So, having someone look and kind of, tell them that you can improve here and there, and then, hopefully win the business, I'm sure, is the goal. But if you're looking and they trust your analysis, then it's a great tool to get people in the door. And you piqued my interest. So that's super, super cool. All right, awesome. So awesome. I appreciate you coming on. This was definitely, I learned a lot. I hope we got to the fun level that Liz was putting on our shoulders. But
I was listening to every word and I had a blast. So I'm sure everybody watching will too. If you want to comment on this, one place you can always find our content is on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. And Nadine, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing what BidX has next and working with you closely forever.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Liz. It was awesome to be here.
Cool. Bye. We'll see you next time.